Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I'm a little bit weirded out because I don't know where the live stream is to go live on Instagram. So hold on. Girl, why you not figure this out before you went live? Okay, here. Let me just mute this. Where's the live stream? Okay, it is what it is. I don't know where it is. If you're watching me on Instagram, assuming it is not distorted, I don't know if you're commenting or not. I don't know if you're wilding out. Just behave, okay? I can't see it. I don't know where it is. Yeah, and it is what it is. Good Lord. Good Lord. Let me pull up the comments on TikTok. I promise, guys, I'm getting my life together as I speak. Okay. All right. So I asked what this conversation was going to be about. And what I heard is reaching a fever pitch over you. Okay. Someone's getting a little hot and bothered. Someone's getting a little hot and bothered over you. I don't know what they want you to do. Is it something you're doing? Or are they just like tripping? Okay, Michael says don't be mean today. That's a lot to ask. That's a lot to ask. Alien Boy says, are you aging backwards? I don't know about aging backwards, but it really just depends on the level of spice that's coming to the surface. Michael says, don't encourage me, Alien Boy. Okay, whatever. Anyways, Michael says that I have a lot to say today. Just like chillax, my guy, chillax. Okay, let me just breathe. So just a disclaimer before I actually start the reading. I didn't ration out my pre-workout with creatine drink properly. So I had half of it left after the workout was already complete. So I have a lot of creatine in my system right now. And that's causing me to feel extremely energetic. Oh, ATP feels so good. It feels good. Okay, I'm just getting these cards ready, which I should have done beforehand. But I was busy playing with Instagram. I don't know if I'm live on Instagram or not. I think I'm supposed to be. That's what it says. But I don't know how to access the live stream. Welcome to my life. This is how my brain functions. So, almost ready, guys. Almost ready. So, something's reaching a fever pitch over you. I don't know if it's a circumstance. I don't know if it's a person, but you're a pretty good deal. Oh, you're a pretty big deal. Not good. I'm glad you slept good last night, Z. You're a fairly big deal. I don't know if you know that. And I don't know that you need to know and accept that. I don't know that you need to proclaim that you're a big deal. You just are. You know what I'm saying? You just are. So, all right, here goes. Something's reaching a fever pitch over you. Let's see. Michael's giggling too. Okay. So there's something that's trying to be kept in the shadow. I don't know if it's a person. I don't know if it's a thing. Shadow, mirror. It's like, oh, it's a mirrored soul. We already know where this is going. We already know where this is going. We already know where this is going. So, let me behave myself. Okay. Thank you for checking, Lindsay. I don't know how to work Instagram. I think I messed it up, to be honest. Okay, let me let's see. I don't know. I don't even care about Instagram right now. I don't know that I care about Instagram, period. It's just not my space. So this is a mirrored soul. Let me refocus. Whatever this is, whoever this is a mirrored soul. And they're watching from behind a veil of shadow. They don't want you to know that they're watching. They, oh, it's okay. It was a real, genuine, oh, it wasn't like, oh, okay. They're watching. They don't want you to know. They feel ashamed. They don't know how to come forward. They don't know how to fix things. So I guess something happened between the two of you and it's reaching a fever pitch. Why is it reaching a fever pitch? Because that needs to heal. That needs to heal. It's like this ongoing issue with yeast. Okay. You don't need to have a hoo-ha to have issues with yeast. Yeast is normally naturally occurring on the human body, inside your digestive tract, all of that. And when things get out of whack and unbalanced, if there's an imbalance that happens, that can grow wildly out of control. And, a lot of people don't realize this, but yeast is often an underlying condition. An imbalance with a yeast, an overgrowth of that yeast is the underlying condition for many diseases, many diseased states. So why would you have me relate this to yeast? Of all the things that I could have used as an analogy, yeast of all things. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeast, when intentionally used, can cause your bread to rise, right? It can cause expansion and rise. Yeast is normal. It's not an enemy. It's the imbalance that's creating the issue. So whatever is going on between you and this mirrored soul, it's an imbalance that your higher self is, both your higher selves are now wanting to be corrected. It's needing to be corrected. Ooh, artificial sweets. Okay, so refined sugar has a tendency to feed yeast, right? It's one of those things where one or both of you has allowed yourself to consume refined sweets. This carries with it a message that one or both of you is just, has been struggling and suffering so badly for quite some time, and you keep consuming something that's intended to be sweet so that you could remind yourself the sweetness of life that you probably have lost from long ago. This is going to be an intense read. I can already tell. This is going to be an intense read, and it's going to be something that it's going to be triggering for many of you. It's going to be triggering. Okay, so there's a correction that's needing to take place, right? Whatever this correction is, allow it to be corrected, allow the balance to be restored, and then allow yourself to move forward from that. If you don't, there's going to be a lot of issues. Whatever those issues are, it's just, oh my gosh, there's so much sadness. There's so much tangible, just like tangible type of, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm about to get rid of a fucking demon Harita. And 1 second. Yeah. And let me just adjust the settings for the YouTube live stream. I don't give a shit what you're going through, and I don't need to help you. If you're going to be disruptive, which is typical of Demon Haritas, you'll be removed. And I have no qualms about that. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to present myself as a bleeding soul for all peoples. I'm here in support of my own journey to be witnessed by my community and nothing more. You cross a boundary line with me, you will be removed. And I will address it publicly. Why? Because my community needs to consistently see me enforcing the boundaries that have already been set. Yes, you're a demon Harita, but thank you so much for allowing me to go ahead and use you as a speaking point. I'm not upset and I'm not bothered. The only reason I address you directly is because I like to use these type of opportunities to remind my community it is absolutely okay and absolutely necessary to enforce boundaries that you've already set. And just because you're publicly visible does not mean you have to take people's bullshit. It does not mean you need to allow yourself and your sacred space to be a dumping ground by people who don't respect the sacredness of the space that you keep and share with others online. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a content creator. I am a goddess in the flesh, allowing myself to be witnessed by my community, nothing else. I don't give a shit if I lose people or gain people off speaking my truth and allowing the world to witness me enforce boundaries. It's healthy. It's empowering. And it's what we need to begin doing. So that fever pitch that's being reached, it has to do with you, babe. It has to do with you. It doesn't require you to, experience some type of martyr moment where you're like destroyed and, unless you want to be. I don't know. Some people like that. Some people are a little bit masochistic. I can see it. I can see. Mikey says, tell them. I do have a little bit of a masochistic streak within me, especially at the gym. I like it. I like it. I do. I like it. But see, there's a difference between experiencing discomfort that registers as pain for the sake of growth, healthy growth, or the opposite of that, which is just allowing the world and people and circumstance to hurt you because you believe you deserve less than. Now, fuck that. Fuck that. I don't think so. Michael is reminding me of a conversation that I was having with people. It's recent. Sometimes, it's happened over the years where I have this like kind of running joke of a conversation that I would be a phenomenal female dominatrix. I would. And then like I've had people who have been in the industry, you know, kind of tell me like, no, it'll change you. The requests can be really, really just disgusting. And then, you know, this recent conversation that I had, I was absolutely laughing my ass off because I would be known as a dominatrix that does not fulfill your requests. That I would paddle you harder for requesting disgusting things like behave yourself. Have some dignity and behave yourself. That's the thing with me. I don't care how much of a fever pitch is reached in circumstance, in environments, in the world at large. I will not be dominated by ambient temperature. Why? Because I'm the thermometer as well as the thermostat. I can gauge what's happening and choose to alter that or leave it be. That's up to me. That's my choice. I have that type of control over myself and my environment. You know what I'm saying? Well, what's maze? Maze? What's that mean? Tammy says, calling you maze from now on. I don't know what that means. I don't know. So there's nothing about you that needs to be alchemically changed. Now, this is not true for everyone. I think this is something that's true for most people in our community because most people in our community, we continue to see ourselves as the issue. Are you really the issue? People who continue to question if they're the issue or not tend to not be the issue. They tend to be the type of people that continue to insert themselves in environments where there are issues already present. And then we're used as a scapegoat. People who are consistently like, I'm not the issue, it's everyone else. Bitch, you're the fucking issue. You are though. You are. Like, be honest with yourself. It's everyone else that's the issue. Like you be swerving in everyone's lane, but it's everyone else. That's the issue. Bitch, I'm not the right place to be at. I will call you out on your shit. I will call you out on your shit. Without even trying, and then you're going to be all like triggered and shit. And I haven't even entered into the razzle dazzle phase. You're going to be all mad at me and say like, oh, Emmy's been talking shit about me. No, I've been speaking truth and you've been identifying yourself as the issue, but not wanting to admit it. Not my problem. So whatever this mirrored soul is, for some of you, there's a mirrored soul. This is someone who, their higher self is pushing them into a space of now needing to function as some type of guardian for you. I know you don't need help. I know. You don't need help, but you've asked your soul for it. You've asked your soul to find a pathway, clear a pathway forward so that you can further live in your purpose. And I think this is how your soul is going to make it happen. It involves a mirrored soul. Excuse me, it's giving me gas. Dana asks, what's a mirrored soul? So someone's drinking Red Bull. I can taste it. I can smell it and taste it. And it's actually making my tongue and face go numb. A mirrored soul, specifically for this reading, is referencing someone that you have some depth of connection to, some depth of soul history with that extends beyond this life. And they serve as a mirror for you. This is someone who, Michael, this is the Emmy Evolving channel. This is not the Emmy and Mikey channel. Anyways, it is someone who can show you things about yourself just through interaction, through proximity. Some people would call it some type of twin flame. Secret in reverse. Secret in reverse. There is something that's about to be, I guess, there's see, now you're laughing, Dina. Michael says to put my glasses on. Michael says to put my glasses on to hopefully hide my discomfort. So there is something that's going to be brought to light. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's something that's going to be brought to light, and whatever that is, it's uncomfortable. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. I need to take my glasses off. It's making me go cross-eyed. Michael says, because you don't want to see. Did we not establish this before I even started the live stream? Like, I was already questioning where this conversation was going. And that's the reason why I took my glasses off, because I don't want to see clearly. I don't want to see clearly. You're starting to irritate me. Be bold and make the first move, but it's in reverse. So you're not going to have to do anything. You're not going to have to do anything. You do need to be bold, but you're not going to have to do anything, because whatever this is, it's working its way through. Like, it's working its way through. It's working its way through. Take time to breathe out. I think for for whoever it is, this is all nervous laughter. None of this is even funny to me. It's not. None of this is funny to me. So whoever this is that is needing to be bold and make the first move, because you're not supposed to make the first move at this point. You're supposed to kind of just like stay in your lane. They're holding their breath. They're waiting for an opportunity, the proper opportunity to approach. Okay. We're just going to breathe. I know this is funny to you. I don't find it funny though. So you kind of just need to sit tight. Time for action, time to take action, but it's in reverse. So for you who's not supposed to make that bold move, you just need to sit and just sit and just live your life. Focus on whatever it is that you've been focused on, some details pertaining to your journey, some details pertaining to the ways in which you're trying to call home parts of yourself. This is just escalating and escalating. This whole reading is just one big covert escalation. I already got my answer. The answers you need are coming. So I'm assuming this is part of that fever pitch. I just, you know what I need to do? I just like need to put a hat on and then push all this energy away. I just need to just push it all. can y'all do me a favor? Just take a deep breath in. Slow exhale out. This is a lot of energy. There was a period in your history, maybe a few years ago. It's not recent. It's a period in your history, and I'm being given the sense that this is a period that it doesn't extend all the way back to childhood, but it's not recent. So it's something within your adulthood, young adulthood, somewhere around there, where a moment of mitosis occurred. So there was a pinching, and it stayed in this state where it's almost a separation, except they never actually separated. So this point, right? Now you enter into this point and then it gets paused. You can't actually pull away and live your life, but you can't undo it either. It's this point where your higher self is trying to correct this. It's trying to force ever so slowly, force that pinching back open. You're entering into a space of convergence. This is a big deal. When you enter into a space of convergence in accordance with what your higher self is dictating is necessary, tremendous amounts of energy will flow through the field and it will fully dilate those pathways that have been constricted due to that attempt at mitosis, attempt at separation. Oh, and then I hear you are conjoined. Okay, like conjoined twins. Okay, let me see. There's something in this word that I am not. It's an approach that conjoins theory and method. Join, combine. Conjugere. Together, to join. Ooh. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the meaning of conjoin is to join together things such as separate entities for a common purpose. So you and another are being brought together for a common purpose. I think that commonality that's trying to be reestablished is something to do with the growth, the health, and the empowerment of the collective whole. You have to be very careful with this, because if you see this as nothing more than a justification for an attempt at romantic reunion, I think you're going to find yourself burned to ashes by the time this process is done. Two separate entities, AJ. It's two separate entities because in accordance with the first link that's provided, it says to join together things such as separate entities for a common purpose. So it's not components of you, it's you and another entity. So for some of you, most of you, this mirrored soul is not in physical form. It's not someone that you've already met. It's not someone that you've had some type of romantic escapade with. This is energy. This is pure consciousness. It's not entered into the physicality of form. Michael says, don't you dare ask. I was like, can I have it that way? It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a mean joke. But it's still funny. It was mean, but it was funny. I'll stop. Don't let pride get in your way. So, for some of you, what's interfering with this process is your own pride. Are you afraid? Are you afraid of what it is that's about to happen between you and another entity? And this entity, I using the term entity carries with it an implication that you're supposed to commune with something that is not already a part of you. This is not about communing with demonics, guardians, guides, or anything like that. This is a mirrored soul. It means at some point you were in the womb of the mother. At the same time, you shared that womb space. It could be a being that you only had the separation of a singular membrane, right? And that means you have your own amniotic sac. Or it could be a being where you share the same sac within the same womb at the same time. No, it is not your higher self. It is a different entity than you. So it is another sovereign. It would be another sovereign. It might be a sovereign that's in form, which is highly unlikely, or it would be a sovereign that's not in physicality. This whole thing is just like my brain hurts. Excuse me. Have faith in your dreams. So your dreams are the ways in which your soul is guiding you through a labyrinth that is life. The energy is getting so intense right now. The end of a tough cycle approaches, but nothing will come of this. So I think for some of you, you need to kind of just take comfort in knowing that this is all taking place via energy, that there's not a need for in real life, in-person interaction. This is just intense. Like, I can feel tremors beginning. So both of you are being guided at this point. Both of you are being guided at this point. For what? I don't know. Through what? I don't know. I'm getting 2 more cards from this deck. Okay. Collaborative dreaming. So that means that you guys are connected already. Like I said, this is someone you've already had a connection with. This is not something new. I think for most, I will reiterate, I think for most, this is not a call for you to enter into some type of romantic connection with an individual. For most, this is a being that you had interaction with and a depth of connectivity to in previous existences. You're calling in your team. You're calling in your team. This is a very prominent member of your soul team. Let me stop. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Okay, so. And then the ears start. Softly, softly, the tender touch. There's a message coming through for quite a few of you. If you're sensitive to energy, you're going to start to feel it womp, womp, womping in your ears. It's womping already. It's womping. There is a recalibration taking place, and whatever this recalibration is, it is something extremely elevated in nature. I'm being told right now, what is necessary will not be bypassed. La, 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 la. Ugh. I need to sing some church songs. I'm so sorry. Okay. Does this have anything to do with my attempt at cord cutting? I backed out and changed my mind. Well, you have some phenomenal luck, better luck, because cord cutting doesn't work. And all my students know this. Cord cutting doesn't work. It's just an amazing way to encourage the potentiality of hydroplasmic hemorrhage, um, hydroplasmic ischemic events, and all kind of different things like that. It causes blockages and potentiality for infection and all kind of different things. Cord cutting is, I won't even say it's an outdated practice. I will say this: cord cutting information was readily spread through spiritual communities and social media platforms to cause you to have a higher likelihood of exposure to infection. It was never going to be something that worked, not even short term. So it's up to you guys if you want to continue with attempts to cord cut. It's up to you if you want to continue with attempts to do all sorts of different ritualistic practices that you find on social media. We all will learn in some way. So I'm not opposed to people learning in the way that they choose for themselves. But I will tell you, if you choose to learn in that way, it opens you to different potentialities and circumstance that, in my opinion, is not really necessary. You could learn in a more peaceful manner, but I feel like you should have the freedom to choose how to learn. You know what I mean? So for me, I've tried all sorts of different cord removal techniques. I actually even teach workshops on cord removal techniques. And some cords are just not going to be removed. And to attempt to remove it is to create a void within you that then will very quickly be occupied by malignant parasitic things. So it's definitely an accelerated course. It's a type of learning that accelerates, amplifies, and elevates the potentiality of your awareness of self. So going beyond normal. In reverse, just do you, babe. Do you. I think whatever this is that's happening, it's just going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to be something that in the end is to your benefit. You have to just trust that. In the end, it's to your benefit. It might be something that unfolds in an easier manner if you listen to your soul, or it might be something that will create elevated moments of adversity, struggle, complexity. All of that is in your favor when you reach the end. So, making the analogy to the gym, I could do a simple movement, or I can turn it into a compound movement. I can use a light weight, or I could use a heavier weight. All of it will eventually benefit me. So if I use a light weight, I can do more reps, and that will help to further refine the results. If I use a heavier weight, that then gives me the potentiality, as long as I do what's necessary after the fact, that will then give me the potentiality for hypertrophy, growth, make you swole. Am I after growth, or am I simply chasing the pump? There's a huge difference between the two. People who don't know the more intricate things when it comes to working out, you'll think it's the same thing, right? So if I'm chasing the pump, I'll do a certain type of workout and it will swell my muscle, but not in an injured manner. It will swell my muscle and I'll look beefy as fuck. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, I could look so beefy if I want. And it will only take, like, one workout to do it. But does it stay that way? No. If I get dehydrated, the fluid will leave my muscle and I will look like I've shrank. Hypertrophy, on the other hand, that is something where it takes more time, it takes more effort. But that one, that's my body fortifying itself. I pushed it beyond what it could normally handle, and it created micro tears, micro injuries. And in that, as long as I give it the appropriate building blocks to repair and fortify, it will be fortified. Now, I won't look so cut up, right? But I will be swole, and not in a swollen way. And then if you look at all the different other aspects, all the other factors that come into play, are you simply trying to refine what you already have, or are you trying to grow? Because you can support these processes in different ways. At the end of the day, you require a component to transport what's necessary into the muscle. Whether it's fluid, whether it's protein, you require something to transport it in, to bring it in. Glucose. It's glucose. What is glucose an analogy for? Life experience. No matter what, you'll have life experience. If you allow yourself to recognize what's happening to me right now, it's not punishment from the soul. It is my opportunity to experience something using my life circumstance. It's going to take it in. So regardless of whether you're just trying to refine, create more separation for the aesthetics, or you're trying to build more, you need it to grow. You need that glucose to transport in what you're trying to transport, whether it's fluid, whether it's protein. It's really up to you. You see, we get so caught up in the surface level of understanding of where we're at within our journey and how to move through that it becomes something where you think you're going to the depths that you need to go, but in reality, you're not. I've been going to the gym for quite a few years. I've never had the type of growth that I have had now. Why? Because I didn't understand. I've had phenomenal form my whole life. I've been in and out of the gym since late teens, early 20s. It's about 20 years, right? Yeah, there were periods of time where I didn't go at all. But for about 20 years, I've been in and out of the gym. Why have I not been able to experience the type of hypertrophy that I can now do? Easy. So fucking easy. I just need to show up, do what needs to be done, lift what needs to be lifted, push and pull whatever needs to be pushed and pulled. Knowing my body will respond in ways that are predictable. Because now I have the depth of understanding that's necessary to command my body in the way I choose to command it. Apply that to your spiritual journey. Apply it to your spiritual journey. Are you able to command your energy in the way that you think you're commanding it? But if you don't have the appropriate understanding, at least to a minimal level of depth, you don't know what you don't know. And the opportunities are being presented to you right now. Opportunities that are allowing you to begin really, really growing. Oftentimes, it requires adversity. Because really, when you face adversity, you have no other option. Those are the most powerful moments where you have no other option. I've said this many times. People have asked me this many times over the years. Emmy, how'd you get so strong? How did you develop the type of understanding that you have? I've never heard anyone speak like you, see life like you. Oh, because I never had any other choice. True story. I never had any other choice. So rather than become embittered by these circumstances that, I mean, who do we want to face? People who we can control. Because if that is the case, you're not going to grow. When you're put in circumstance with people that you can't sway, people who won't budge because they have their reasonings, and the reasonings behind their behaviors have so far eluded you. That's hard. That's uncomfortable. But that's a recipe for tremendous growth. It's uncomfortable to grow. Very uncomfortable. Michael says to address you, Stacy. I don't know if you're new to me, but you shouldn't ask me questions unless you're ready to hear a raw truth. Will my daughters come around to speak to me? They stopped talking to me once my mother passed. When I answer a question, I answer it directly, and I do not sugarcoat. And because I don't sugarcoat and I'm very blunt in the delivery, oftentimes it will tear that wound back open. But in tearing open, the infection can then be debrided. It's a very painful process. Very painful process. The perception of your life, this card is about trying to present your life as perfect, not allowing yourself to acknowledge the ways in which your entire world has been on fire and burning. It's been being destroyed. The destruction is not punishment. It's a deconstruction that's occurring. And that deconstruction requires you to get to a point where you can allow yourself to finally let go of the unnecessary rubble. Stacy, I ask your soul if you're ready to hear my opinion on your question, and your soul says no. Your soul says no. So release a dark wound and let love live. For some of us, the things that we're struggling through is our death grip on this wound that's been infected. We're not allowing it to close. We're not allowing it to heal. We're just covering it up, bandage by bandage by bandage, layer after layer after layer. And the bandage stinks already. It already stinks. That's sign of infection, but we don't want to address it. We're afraid, which I get. I get it. One way or another, that's going to be addressed, whether it needs to be amputated or you can find the courage. If you're needing to find the courage, that's telling me that your life is forcing you to address it. Yikes. Either way, one way or another, you're going to have to face this. That's difficult. That's very, very difficult. Okay. Visions of life beyond death. So you haven't actually died. You haven't, your ego hasn't died. This concept of ego death, right? It hasn't died. This feeling it has more to do with the death of a character that you've played, a character that was created to appease the people in your environment. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I don't want to get involved in that. I just don't. Um, okay. So, I think for the people who need to receive this portion of the message the most, they'll be the ones who are the least willing to receive it. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, it is what it is. Right? It is what it is. So here goes. Maybe you don't have an idea of the context that you are creating in this circumstance. You don't have an idea of what this is, why this event is happening, because you refuse to see it from anything else other than what you want, right? If you can allow yourself to view some of the things in your life from an elevated perspective rather than continuing to see it from a distorted, trauma based perception, there's nothing that anyone can say or do to help rectify a situation that could easily be rectified. Doesn't mean it won't be painful, but it could easily be rectified. Some people just are not willing to see yet the ways in which the circumstance they struggle through was co-created by them to begin with, you know? Um, okay. So, the things that are coming through right now, it's coming from your core. Whatever this fever pitch is, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's not going to repeat. Repetition in reverse. It's not going to repeat. I think we're all reaching a point within our journeys where your soul is willing to pull out all the stops and really make things happen for you in the most positive, most empowering, most healing, return to wholeness type of way. If you don't allow your expectations to be aligned with the reality of the circumstance and the potentiality that your soul is presenting you, this process is going to backfire. It's going to cause you to become so triggered and so reactive to your own process that you're not going to be open to anything, and you're going to clamp down. You're going to crimp those pathways that are already being dilated by soul. You are the only one that can decide how you're going to receive this circumstance and move through it. You are the only one. The only one. Um, hmm. Your soul wants all your parts to be allowed to come back home, including the parts of you that are held in trust and love by someone else. That's what it is. That's what it is. There are portions of your divine memory that have been withheld. You can't retrieve it, and you don't know what it is. The reason you can't retrieve it and the reason you have no recollection of what it even is because it's being held by someone else, someone you trusted deeply in a previous existence. That is the mirrored soul. I don't know what you guys need to do. I don't know what you guys need to do. I don't know what conversations need to be had. I don't know if you can even have conversation, because for most of you, this is an entity, a mirrored soul that is not in physical form. They're still out there formless in the aether. They're an unformed yet still individuated consciousness. Try asking your soul to give you the guidance that you need to retrieve what is rightfully yours, not to avoid interaction that must be had, but to retrieve what is rightfully yours. And if you are ready, truly ready, not just believing you're ready, because you can believe whatever you want. Doesn't make it true. You can believe whatever you want. It doesn't make it your actuality. It does not mean you are believing something that is rooted in the reality of your experience, the reality of your existence. You believe whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily make it real. Michael says, give you guys an example. I believe to the depth of my core. But I believe I am. When was the last time you came across another person that made you feel without having ever met you, spoken to you, or see you in person? I don't know why people react to me the way they do, but they do. And I like to believe we all have the ability to do that. I don't know that we do. I want to believe that I'm normal, as defined by society. Pretty sure I'm not. But I don't want to see that. I don't want to believe that, and I don't want to process that. So I will dance around it. Hyper intellectualize it. But the reality still remains. Just because I believe it, and I believe it because I want it so bad, doesn't mean it's the reality of who I am. I've come across quite a few different types of people. I've been at this for quite some time at this point. Over 13,000 documented clients. Thousands that haven't been documented. Thousands of people that I've come across in passing, through live streams, in real life. People who I've interacted with privately via Messenger. So rough ballpark estimate, millions. Millions of individuated consciousness. And out of those millions, I've only ever come across one that is just like me. I want to feel normal. I know that I'm not. And I will soothe myself by saying, not normal in the healthiest, most loving, most amazing, and healing way. There's so much more to process, but I'm not comfortable doing so. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of it. As long as you don't allow yourself to process because you're afraid of what's in that process. And it's okay to experience moments of fear, because the fear is a thing that brings your attention to what you need to pay attention to. You won't move forward from it. I get it. So you're going through a transformation, right? This transformation requires the world within your world to be exposed to the surface, to reunify. Remember, unity, right? So these parts are coming back home. And I think for some, a component, a part that is coming back home is an entity, a consciousness that's separate from your own. If that applies to you, I don't know that either of you are celebrating it. I get the sense that all entities involved are extremely uncomfortable. But you will not be allowed to take a time out. You will not receive a break from this. It's reaching a fever pitch for a reason, you know? It's reaching a fever pitch for a reason. You're the reason. Wow. Reaching a fever pitch over you. I think, although it's a beautiful sentiment, Lisa, and I love when you share in the comments, although what you wrote is a beautiful sentiment, I would have to disagree. Lisa says, I just seen a quote that said, perhaps fear is a part of us that needs the most love. Fear is nothing but, in my opinion, fear is nothing but a notification system. We have to be careful about assigning human characteristics to inanimate things. Your fear is not alive. There's no way to love your fear into a space of wholeness. It is helping you to identify the very thing you need to address in that moment. And loving the fear, in my opinion, is not going to do anything but give you a false sense of applying a solution that really does not even apply. So we have to be careful about the things that sound beautiful but are just meant to keep us in a loop. Because some people will read that and then they will think, oh, I just need to love my fear. Just like you love your flathead screwdriver, your Phillips screwdriver. You know what I love? I love my DeWalt impact gun. I love that. I love my Makita drill. hmm I love my buffer. I love that a lot. My lime green buffer, that saves me from a lot of pain. It does. But I experience some discomfort as I use it. Why is it important for me to say these types of things? Is it to just negate the validity of someone else's thoughts? No. I'm just sharing my own, which happens to differ from whatever the quote was, right? So why do I say these things about loving these tools? Because me loving that tool is not going to make it function more efficiently. It's not going to repair it if it breaks. It's not going to recharge the battery when the battery runs out. When you understand that the tool is there to facilitate a task that you're trying to complete, when it breaks down, you don't just hug it, you fix it. You repair whatever needs to be repaired. That's what the fear is. So using my buffer as an example, I continue to have this issue with one of my ribs. It continues to dislocate. It's staying in a lot better these days, but it still continues to dislocate. So one night, it got dislocated. I have an extremely high pain threshold. And the compression on my nerve, I could feel it. And because the nerve was being compressed and I'm extremely neurological in nature, I was entering into a very frantic state. And in my desperation to release that, I had asked my husband to begin buffing my back, which the vibration was helping to kind of release. And then the battery died. And the fear that I felt, knowing if that quadratus lumborum, the cue ball muscle, is not relaxed and released via the buffer, it will absolutely tear my rib out of place again. Oh my God. Just the thought of it, I'm becoming dysregulated. My breathing, like I have to remind myself, breathe. My body is responding to it. I feel the twinging, I feel the spasming. Girl, Emmy. Get in control. Breathe. Get in control. I'm in control. I'm in control. I'm in control. Do you see how that process works? That fear let me know you're at risk of harm. That awareness caused me to surge energy. That energy surged as emotion. I have a high pain tolerance, but I don't want to hurt. Fear is a tool. It is a tool that is extremely powerful if you know what to do in response to it. If you are familiar with how that process works, if I let myself continue to freak out, it would have popped out. Your body communicates everything that you need to know so that you know how to move through circumstance. Breathe. And now I have all this energy surging through my system. I'm ready to fight something. Fight what? Fight myself? And what will be the outcome of that? More pain. Your refusal to surrender to the very thing that you need to surrender to is a thing that keeps hurting you. It's a thing that keeps hurting you. And no, none of what you guys just witnessed was planned. None of that was orchestrated or practiced. I did not expect myself to get triggered. That's what triggering is. It's not about you getting mad. It's not about you being offended. That's just one component of triggering. The truth of being triggered is something outside of you has caused you to return to a state where you felt unsafe, unbalanced, unprotected, at risk. And all of a sudden, your emotions, your hormones, everything about you, the way your body holds itself, goes back to that point where you experienced that for the first time. That's where my body went. Recognizing that brings me back there again. But I'm in control. I am in control. My body will do what I instruct it to do. I will not hold in places where I feel the fear. I will explore it. I will acknowledge it. And then I will resolve it. How did I resolve that? I brought it to my core. Why is that important? Well, I understand anatomy, physiology. I understand about the fascia. I understand about musculature. I understand about all of that. Because I understand, I know how to mitigate. What did I need to do? I needed to bring it to my core so I could rebalance both my psoas muscles. Why is it my psoas? Because something very elevated is fighting something very dense, and I needed to bring it to my core. That wasn't enough. I needed to bring it to my core. That wasn't enough. I need to bring it to my core. That wasn't enough. I need to bring it to my core. I didn't just survive that circumstance that continues to repeat. I learned from it. I integrated it. And the parts of me that fight it are being retaught how to function properly. That is how, if you want to love your fear, that is how you love it. You teach it its proper place. You reprogram it, you repurpose it, and you allow it to function in the way it was designed to function, but in an elevated manner. That's how you become formidable. That's how you truly become independent and autonomous of this system that was created specifically to disempower you. And for many of you, you need this other entity, this separate consciousness from your own, to help you remember. Excuse me. A new chapter is being written. And that new chapter is about the correction of a disconnected cosmic connection. It's that other consciousness. That other consciousness needs to be allowed to come back home. I'm hungry. I'll get you guys 2 final cards. You get to pick, because it's going to be a semi-personal read. All right. Ah! Fucking smashed my finger. Okay. Here we go. All right. You put card 1 or card 2. It's up to you. You could do both. So whatever you comment, either 1 or 2 or 1 and 2, the message will be for you. Advice on a person who has high pain tolerance but has to finally have to seek medical intervention. You just need to ask yourself, how bad does it need to get before I actually allow myself to fix it? The worse it gets, the harder it'll be to fix. The longer it will take for you to recover, and maybe the mindset of, or the question of, how hard do I want to make this for myself, and how long do I want to prolong the recovery period, will get you balanced enough to get that medical intervention. So this will be card 1 and this will be card 2. Does allowing yourself to feel it through bringing it into core? Depends on you, because you're the one that decides how deep it will go. So it really is dependent on you. All right. So card 1 and then card 2. Let's start with card 2. So, oh, girl. Okay. Here we go. Mother Fierce, card number 18. Mother Fierce is your guardian. Nothing can penetrate the passionate fire of her fearless love. Your safety is assured, beloved, in the midst of any apparent challenge or threat, no matter how frightening it may seem, and no matter how insecure you might feel about taking a step on your spiritual path into more power. Know that you are safe, you are protected, you are loved. Beloved, you've been growing spiritually, and sometimes this evokes responses from others. The responses may be loving and affirming, encouraging and validating. Many will choose to be inspired by your growth. Sometimes, however, lower vibrational responses will arise, which might be fearful, insecure, jealous, or angry. These responses arise so that they can be healed. The healing for you is in how you choose to allow yourself to shine and not be intimidated by the healing process of another. For the other, the healing is their journey, and you have offered them a great service. Know that you do not need to be afraid, nor do you need to hold yourself back out of fear. There's nothing that escapes the notice of beloved Mother Kuan Yin. As a divine mother of fierce compassion and protection, she sees all, knows all, and she blesses all. She can lift you beyond fear and threat into a place of unity with divine love that secures you against any would-be threat and delivers you into peace. For you to benefit the most from her protection, you need to trust in her light and realize that she's shining through your own inner light, that she and you are one in truth. From this perspective, you can realize that you always have the right to say no to any energy of fear or doubt that seeks to cause you harm. And it's important to recognize those energies that seek to cause you harm. Not just saying no to something you fear, saying no to something that strikes fear in you because it seeks to cause you harm. Harm comes from a lower vibration. It does not need to be feared, but it does need to be responded to with assertiveness and compassion. Kuan Yin now helps you retain your inner peace in the face of lower vibrational energy so that you can be kind and accepting of the divine essence in all of existence, no matter how heavily veiled the divinity appears to be. And yet also remain assertive that only unconditionally loving vibrations are welcome in your energy field. So you need to make sure that you are consciously choosing whatever it is that you're going to experience. You have a say in the way you will experience something. The way you experience it is based on how you choose to see it. And no, I'm not talking about lying to yourself about the severity of whatever the hardship is. What I'm talking about is allowing yourself to see this severity of hardship is crazy, but I'm supposed to learn something in this. If I can figure out what I need to learn and actually learn it, I think my life will change in the most powerful way. And I want that. I want that. So I'm going to remain open to seeing this in whatever way my soul needs me to see this, so I can learn whatever it is my soul wants me to learn. I think that's a very powerful way to move through any circumstance. Ooh. For those who chose card number 1, they better watch out. I'm telling you, you're not playing, you about it. Ooh, and these are the first steps of your divine journey. It's card number 11. Ooh, one of you is eating fruit. What is that? Like mango? Fresh mango? Look at you making healthy choices in life. Mango is very high in vitamin C. I'm just saying. All right, for those of you who chose card number 1, here goes. Durga Kalika. I have a feeling you're about to fuck shit up in the most powerful way. I'm all for it. She is fierce divine justice and unyielding resolution in favor of the light. She is every method and all means necessary to ensure success for the soul. Y'all, your higher selves are not playing about you. I am so serious. Your higher selves are not playing about you. The feel that I get from the higher selves, it's like your souls are saying, I wish a motherfucker would. Our mofo, I wish a motherfucker would. Okay. I'm just saying. She is the unexpected victory, arising at the very moment when all seems lost, transforming tragedy into triumph. Pivot, pivot. I promise you, pivot. Pivot even just 1 degree. And whatever that bullshit is that is targeting you, that has you in the crosshairs, it won't hit you. It won't hit you. Let these people who think they know you and can predict how you will react to whatever bullshit they're trying to throw on you, pivot, babe. I'm telling you, pivot. The last, and I will use colorful sentence enhancers, the last fucking bitch that tried to throw shit at me, their shit. I pivoted and guess what happened? Had all that shit to talk. Where are you at right now? Pretending to be me. Pretending to be me. Just pivot. Those hips don't lie, babe. Those hips don't lie. Let your hips pivot you. So, pivot. I just pivoted my chair. That's a pivot. That's it. I didn't even have to lift my feet off the floor. I didn't even have to get up off my seat. That is a pivot. So for those who chose card number 1, these people gonna try. They gonna try. What's new? What's new? I'm not going to sit there and allow you to successfully hit the mark that you tried to leave on me and my person. No, we going to pivot. We're going to pivot. And then what's going to happen? Not a damn thing. Why? Because I said so. I have the final say in my life and my journey. You want to wreck me? You want to wreck the way I see myself? No. What now? I once had someone come on my live stream on TikTok, and they were trying to start an argument with me. I don't even remember anymore. It was something along the lines of like, no, you're wrong. Jesus said, why? Jesus text you? Did Jesus call you and let you know? What is it? Jesus emailed you to explain? Yeah. So you know what I said to that person? I don't agree with you and you're not going to change my mind. Now what? Now what? They didn't know what to fucking say. You expected to come into my space and tell me that I need to think like you or else what, I'm invalid? No. Now what? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? How you gonna force me? Now what? Nothing. Nothing is what? Pivot. They don't know what to do when you pivot. That's all you got to do. Pivot. You don't even have to be moved from your space of center. She's our spiritual sun, our light, and our ever radiant reminder that from darkest night, a new dawn shall always arise. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. For every problem that can arise, there are many more divine solutions unfolding even now. Your soul is getting real creative with resolutions that it's going to offer you. Things are about to be resolved in your life. In the Hindu cosmology through which Kali Ma is known, life is sustained through a continual balancing and interaction between the light and the dark, of that which promotes life and that which destroys it. Excuse me. In one story of Kali's birth, she erupts in a frenzy of divine wrath, catapulted out of the awakened third eye of the golden warrior goddess, Durga, straight onto the battlefield to arrest the rising power of evil forces. Oh, shit. That was the first appearance of Kali. When the eyes of the goddess became gold, gold out of pure intention to hunt fallen Christic consciousness. That was the first appearance of Kali. And she absolutely went straight onto the battlefield because she had had enough. The battlefield that triggers Kali's emergence is a setting of the ancient war between the light and the dark. This war takes place in our world daily and often enough in our own minds and hearts. It is a war of choice where our free will decides which qualities are allowed to become stronger in our lives. Do we choose love or hate, trust or doubt, faith or fear? And here's the thing, and this is the most powerful thing. Those two, love or hate, trust or doubt, faith or fear, they're not opposing each other. They're not opposites. They are one in the same, but simply sliding on that scale. When does love become hate? You see, if love is here and hate is here, and someone keeps nudging you, nudging you, nudging you, nudging you, nudging you, at first it's just irritating. And then it becomes inconvenient. And then it becomes offensive. And then it becomes something you're struggling to continue to tolerate. And then it becomes something you just cannot tolerate at this point. And then it becomes something you need to face. And then it becomes something that you face in order to resolve. But at which point, on that sliding scale of awareness, does love suddenly become hate? We don't know. We don't know until we have slid so far in the opposite direction. Yet they are still the same thing. They are still on the same plane of existence, just now in different positions. They're one and the same. So do you have to change? No, you have to pivot and allow the movement to continue. So you're being nudged, nudged, nudged. If you pivot, every time you're nudged, you go back into that space of love. When we want to choose a higher path, but find it difficult to avoid being overcome by our lower nature or the negativities around us, the divine beings of love manifest their presence to strengthen the light. In Kali's case, she absorbs the darkness, thereby freeing us from its potentially overwhelming and undermining effect. People are so quick to condemn Kali as darkness and wickedness and evil. It gets annoying. It gets annoying. So in my recent history, I've had hundreds of people jump on the bully bandwagon. They tried to bully me. You tried to bully me. Okay. They tried to bully me. And one of their favorite phrases to use was, the eyes tell me everything. I can see the darkness in her eyes. Okay, calm down, have a seat. Calm down, have a seat. They could see the darkness in my eyes, just like they could witness the darkness in Kali. Let me tell you something factual. Light does not destroy darkness. It simply displaces it. Use some common fucking sense. You could take the biggest light you could possibly find, make it a fucking spotlight. And all you do is displace the darkness where that light is shining, but around the perimeter of it, where that light can no longer expand to, is still dark. You see the darkness in me? You have an issue with the darkness of my eyes. Why do you think I'm such a good extractor? And for the record, I pioneered the field of parasitic extraction. People referring to demonics as parasites, I started that years ago. Prove it. I own the fucking trademark. I do. I own the trademark parasitic extraction. So, you see the darkness in my eyes? You feel the darkness in my soul. The only way to actually defeat darkness is to introduce something even darker, because the darker thing will consume that which is less dark, consume it and transmute it. The darker one is the dominant one. That's how demons function. So go ahead and say how you see the darkness in me. All it does is validate what I've already known. My purpose in this life is to eradicate wickedness by simply existing and allowing that which is wicked to come close enough that I can fucking consume you. And then what happens? Well, for some, you start to think that you can be me. You can't. You can't fake energy. You speak on things you don't embody. You can't fake embodiment. So then what happens? You want me to tell you how this plays out? Eventually, you speak so much, you regurgitate my words and my work that people go looking. And you know what they find? The point of origin. It's me. And then what happens? They see me in my embodiment. And then something suddenly seems off with you. And then they keep watching. And then they get it in their head like, is this girl pretending to be her? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And then you know what else happens? They turn on you. Because I did something? No, because I exist. And then they all flock to me. Because I called them? No. Because I exist. That's how it always works. You're not the first one to try. You probably won't be the last. Mark my words, though. Every single time someone tries, it always ends the same way. You become destroyed by your own stupidity. And I just keep existing. You thought I was going to say something that's ego-based? No. All I'm asked to do by soul is exist. Two things. That, and allow myself to be publicly witnessed by whoever wants to. That's how it works. I don't have to be anything but myself. Kali's birth on the battlefield has meaning. Durga, the unconquerable goddess of light, with the weapons of every divine being at her disposal. Oh my God. You guys will understand the gravity of this once you read my book. Durga, the unconquerable goddess of light, with the weapons of every divine being at her disposal, had encountered a particularly virulent negative being. Whenever a drop of his blood touched the earth, he multiplied, becoming ever more powerful. When Durga realized a weapon greater than all others was required to beat him, she summoned her energy and birthed Kali from her third eye. Kali is a weapon of the light and an expression of love's protective will. So Kali leapt forth, gobbling up every emanation of the demon and every drop of blood before it could touch the earth, ending the cycle of terror. Kali is the wrath of the goddess of light, divine fury in action. She not only strengthens the workings of goodness in our lives, but she reverses negativity's grip and brings it to an abrupt halt. The healing consequences of this intervention can result in dramatic changes. Situations that obstruct us, even without us fully realizing it, give way, and through that process, an easier and more graceful path unexpectedly opens up. When this oracle arises in a reading, an unexpected ease and grace are due to manifest. Know that the fruition of your soul shall be unstoppable. You're unstoppable. Whatever divine protection is necessary to secure your fulfillment shall spontaneously arise. That is the pinging of this separate consciousness, this mirrored soul. Allow its proximity to you. Allow its proximity to you. It does not want to conquer you. It does not want to dominate you. It does not want to consume you. It simply wants to facilitate through proximity. The symbolism of new demons popping up from drops of blood hitting the earth is a representation of the duplicity and resistance of negativity. It's always seeking new ways to compel the mind towards judgment, fear, anger, and hate. The ego continually seeks new ways to inflate itself, to place itself above or below others, to justify itself, to congratulate itself, to separate and distinguish itself as either superior or inferior. The workings of the ego promise so much, but deliver nothing but suffering. If Kali needs to manifest for the pestilent misery of ego to be overcome, then out of the luminous beauty of Durga, the wrathful ferocity of the divine feminine warrior Kali Ma awakens and acts. And all I got to say about that is Jai Kali Ma. This oracle guides you to allow divine intervention to support you during the battles taking place in your life or your mind. If you feel that darkness is gaining higher ground and your ability to trust in the face of the unknown is being challenged, fear not. Durga Kalika arises when we have an unusually difficult challenge, and the ways we usually support ourselves are insufficient to deal with these circumstances effectively. We need to be open to inspiration and willing to adapt to the light within is protected, and the pathway ahead continues to unfold without unnecessary future difficulties, even if that takes us beyond our usual methods of operation. It is a portent of unexpected success, even when everything appears to be going against you. You can trust that the tide of the most virulent negativity shall turn swiftly and decidedly. Woo. Ugh. Okay. Listen to this. Durga, the mother of light and solar radiance of spiritual protection, I open to your divine blessing of Kali Ma, born of necessity. Michael says to say it out loud. Remain reassured that the things you've done were born of necessity. It was effective and resourceful, and it accomplished sacred work. And it attained spiritual fruition for the spiritual benefit of all beings. You've never allowed anything to overcome your true nature and divine purpose. And your light and inventiveness has blessed the way for all beings, clearing negative interference, deflecting impure activities, and ensuring the protection and manifestation of the highest truth through your own grace for the spiritual benefit of all beings. And that it's only the human mind that cannot comprehend the gravity of what I chose to do freely, knowing that at some point in my existence I would not understand. I gotta go. I gotta go. I hope that everything we spoke about in this conversation helps you in some way to find a deeper reservoir of courage so that you can continue your journey and return back to a space of wholeness. You need to remember at this point how whole you actually are, how you have everything that you need, and you always have, that you are the version of yourself that will accomplish what needs to be accomplished during this time. And when another version of you is more appropriate for the task at hand, you will become that. More accurately, you will return to that. Because every version of you that you need to be for every point in your life, every milestone that you have to reach, it already exists. You already are that. Except you've just kind of put it aside because until it's necessary, you can't understand, accept, and allow for that version of you to exist. It's too much power, too much truth. And it scares you how appropriate you are for the purpose and the environment that you exist in. Your soul will help you work through it. And what needs to happen will happen. And what you need to remember about yourself will be remembered. And then you just carry on and continue existing. I have to read this one comment. Where is it? As it was in the beginning, and so it remains. As it was in the beginning, and so it remains. Hi, Caprina. This right here. As it was in the beginning, and so it remains. Not as it was in the beginning, and so shall it be. It already is. As it was in the beginning, and so it remains. It already is. It always has been. Let yourself think on that for the rest of the day and see what type of personal power returns back to you. Quick reminder, next week we're having the Baneful Protection workshop. This is the last time I'm having this workshop. So make sure you get your ticket. I would highly suggest you get it today because there's still a 40% off coupon running on my Academy website. You can still purchase through to next week, but that coupon is going to expire at some point. And once it expires, we will not honor any requests to reactivate it or to apply it. Okay. So if you want to be a part of the Baneful Protection workshop, on all platforms except for TikTok. Simply click on the QR code or the link in the comment for TikTok. You go to the link in my bio, click on that Hoobie link and look for Baneful Protection. We're going to be having it next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend.